the best and easiest method on how I made this particular Victorian corset. I'm going to walk you through the steps I took, every step of the way. I'm going to be showing you how I made it to have a very copy effect, very copy effect, and very cinched to the waist and under bust. I'm also going to be showing you how to draft it and cut it and then transfer it to fabric. If this is the kind of video you want to see, then stay tuned and keep on watching. Okay, when doing a Victorian corset, the emphasis is mostly between the under bust and the waistline. The under bust line, like this picture you're seeing here, and the waistline is really cinched so that the bust can be lifted up, and it actually cinched the waist very well. So for this type, for Victorian corset, you take measurement for every part of the top bodies. Like in this one, you're going to take measurement for the upper bust. You're going to take measurement for the bust line. Okay, after the bust line, you're going to take measurement for under bust, take measurement for the between the under bust and the waistline, which is the stomach area. Okay, you're going to also take measurement for the waist, and on the waist, you're going to take measurement for the navel area. Okay, and then the full length of where you want your top to stop. Okay, so I hope that you understand me. Upper bust, you take a measurement, bust line, under bust, stomach area, waistline, and full length. And because of that, you have to take half length for all of these. Okay, you take the half length between the upper bust to the bust line, the half length between the under bust to the stomach area, half length between the stomach area to the waist, and half length between the waist to the full length. You will take half length for all of them as well, so that you know where to take your measurement for all of them. And for this particular tutorial, I'm going to be working with this measurement. For this particular Victorian corset, upper bust is 36, bust line is 40, under bust is 28, stomach is 26, waist is 26, and then the full length is 28 inches. That's the measurement round. So you take half length for each of them. So for this measurement, my half length between the upper bust and the bust length is 3.5 inches. My half length between the bust line and the under bust is 3.5 inches as well. With half length between the under bust and the stomach is 3.5. And then my half length between the stomach and the waist is 3 inches. Half length between the waist and the full length is 2 inches. Okay, that's my half length for this particular tutorial. So you use the half length to know where to make your measurement from. So the first thing you do is to fold your pattern paper into two. You will need to draft it on your pattern paper before you transfer it to the fabric. Okay, so this is what I want to do right now. Now remember, these are the measurements we are working with. Okay, these are the measurements we are working with. So for your bustier, this one is for your Victorian corset bustier. This one is the one that does not have yoke. I'm going to do a tutorial of how you can do it with yoke, but this one is one that does not have yoke. And because it doesn't have yoke, you won't take a full bodice, you will take the bodice from your upper bust area. Okay, so first of all, I want to draw a line here so that I have my upper bust, like a line here to start a defined line that is straight. Okay, so now to start my measurement, remember I said my upper bust is 36, bust line 40, under bust 28, stomach 26, waist 26, and full length 28. So the first thing we're going to be doing is to take our half length measurement. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to be doing, is take our half length measurement. Alright, so the half length. So let's say this is our upper bust, this measurement here. This side is upper bust. Alright, let me just put it here. Upper bust. Okay, upper. Then between the upper bust and the bust line is between the upper bust and the bust line is 3.5 inches. So I will take 3.5 inches from here and mark it here. Here. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw a line here where the 3.5 inches half length is. Okay, so that's the half length between the upper bust and the bust line. As you can see, I wrote it down here. That's what we're using as our direction. So the next one is the half length between the bust line and the under bust, which is also another 3.5 inches. So we're doing the same thing. Okay, another 3.5 inches, and I'm going to mark it here. Okay, and draw out the line. So here you have bust line, BL, I just label it as BL, and here you have under bust, I just put it as UN. Okay, then between the next one we have here, next one we have here is under bust to stomach. Okay, half length of under bust to stomach, and it's equally 3.5 inches, and that's what I'm going to measure out again. So I'm taking another 3.5 here, and I'm going to draw my line. Okay, so we have our stomach area, that's the under bust stomach area, and writing as ST. Then between the stomach area and the waistline, okay, between under the half length between stomach and waistline is 3 inches. I'm going to take 3 inches for that. And remember, the waistline we're taking at the navel area, so half length is 3 inches, okay. I'm going to just write the W as waistline. Half length between the waistline and the full length is 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to take the 2 inches as the half length between the waistline and the. So this is it. I'm going to add 1/2 inch allowance here. Okay, so this is our full length. That's where they want your top to stop. I hope you understand what I'm doing here. So the very next thing we want to do is to start defining, before you go ahead and define, to get the measurement of this. It's not like your basic bodies. Okay, you are going to be subtracting it from the dark line. Okay, you're not going to use the normal basic bodies to do it. You're going to subtract it from the dark line. And so let's first of all subtract it on paper written like this, so that we know how much we are going to subtract from our dark line. Okay, so I have decided to paper there to explain what I mean. Okay, so if you don't understand what I mean, first of all, let's start with the full length measurement you're using here is the bust line, which is the highest measurement here. So bust line divided by 4 is 10. Okay, so you're going to use the 10 to divide to minus everything. Okay, that's we're going to use the bust line, subtract from others. So what do I mean? Upper bust is 36, okay, Upper bust is 36 divided by 4 is 9. Okay, so if bust line is 10, to what you're going to subtract, is going to be 10 minus 9. Okay, which will give you 1. That's 1 inch. That's what we're going to subtract from the dashed line. Okay, that's what we're going to subtract from the dashed line. Subtract from the dashed line. So of course the bust line is still going to remain 10. So you're going to have 10 minus 10, which is equal to 0. Meaning you're not going to inch. You're not going to subtract anything from the bust line. It will still remain the same. Then the under bust. Okay, under bust is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So 10 minus 7, okay, will give us 3 inch. So we are going to subtract 3 inch from the dashed line. When we are doing the dash, now we're going to subtract it from the dashed line. I hope you understand me. Now, don't worry, as I'm doing it on the pattern paper, you understand what I mean. Okay, so on the stomach area, we have stomach at 26 divided by 4 is 6.5. So you have 10 inch minus 6.5, which will give you 3.5 inch. Okay, the same goes for the waistline. Okay, the same goes for the waistline, which is 10 minus 6.5, which will give you 3.5. And then the full length, okay, is 28 divided by 4 is 7. So you have 10 minus 7, which will give you 3 inch. So what we are going to be subtracting from the dashed line is these inches. Okay, you're not going to take the measurement as the normal measurement you take on your bodies. Okay, and mind you, you must fold your pattern paper, because this is going to be used for this, that's the left side, and this side is going to be used for the right side. Okay, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So let's go ahead. First of all, we're going to take our bust measurement, which is the defining 10 here. Except the bust we are measuring divided by 4, which is 10. So you take 10 inches here. Okay, this is your defining line, 10 inches, and then you can keep 1 or 2 inches for allowance. Once we are done doing that, the next thing we are going to do is to get our dashed line. The dashed line most times is 4 inch. We are going to take 5 inch because of the part that we are going to cut out. Okay, so we are going to keep it at dashed line at 5 inch. Yeah, let me show you. So we are taking our dashed line at 5 inch from this angle. This is 5 inch, and this is where we are going to draw our line from. Okay, 5 inch. We're going to draw our line here at 5 inch. You will just take 5 inches on all your lines and draw it everywhere. You will just take 5 inches, 5 inches, just to draw the line, the dashed lines. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw out the dashed line, the 5 inches dashed line. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. So I've gone ahead to draw the dashed line, okay, 5 inch, the dashed line. So now you're going to go ahead and start minusing the inches, okay. This is what we're going to be using now. Let's keep this aside. We're going to be using this to start defining the dashed line. This is where your bust line is. And so this is where we're going to start the definition from. And then when you want to start the measurement, you have 1 inch that you can take from the upper bust, and no inch, which is 0 inch from the bust line, 3 inches to take from the under bust, 3.5 for the stomach area, 3.5 for the waist, and 3 for the full length. Okay, so we're not going to take all of them on just this side. We'll still take on this other side and another side on this side, so that we have it really cinched to the body. Okay, so we're going to first of all take, for the upper bust, we'll take 1/2 inch Okay, we'll take ½ inch out of, let me get the paper so that I can calculate it very well. We're going to take ½ inch from the upper bust, okay? So upper bust right now is supposed to be 1 inch. That's what we're supposed to take, 1 inch. So we're going to take half. So 1 minus half, what we're going to take now will give us ½ inch. So we're going to still have ½ inch to use again on this other side, okay? Then for the under bust line, okay, don't worry, stay with me, you understand when I start putting it on the pattern paper. For the under bust line, you have 3 inch, okay, and we're going to take 2 inch now. We're going to use 2 inch now for this particular dash line, and the 2 inch now we're going to use, we're going to take 2 inch. So you have 3 inch here, alright, minus 2 inch, which means that what will remain for us to use is 1 inch. Okay, so what we have available to use. Okay, so for the stomach area, we're equally going to use 2 inch as well. So we're going to have 3.5 minus, okay, minus 2 inch, which will give you 1.5 inch left for us to use on this other side. Okay, which will give you 1.5 inch to use for this side and this side, because now we're going to draw that line here, another line here. Okay, so we need more inches for this. So this one is what we're going to use for this particular dash line, the one I'm putting here. So for the waist, the same thing as the stomach, which is 3.5. We're going to use 2 inches. That we're going to remove 2 inches that out of this side. So you have minus 2 inch, which will give you 1.5 inch left to use for the other remaining 2 dots. And then for the full length, we're going to also take away 2 inches, and we're going to be left with, which is, full length was 3 inches, remember? So we're going to have 3 minus 2, which will be left with 1 inch available. Okay, so let's keep this aside and work with this. So very simple, upper bust, what we have total is 1 inch, but we're going to remove 1/2 inch now. Okay, so we are going to first of all measure your 1/2 inch. So if it's 1/2 inch, you're going to carry your 1/2 inch. This is 1/2 inch now. You're going to take in between 1/2 inch. Let me bring it closer. So between this point and this point is 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to put this point that is in the middle between 1/2 inch at the point where you have your line here, and mark this point and this point. That's this point and this point. This point will be in between the line. Okay, so I'm going to take 1/4 inch on both sides. Okay, 1/4 inch on both sides. That will give me a total of 1/2 inch. So that's what I want to do right now. 1/4 inch on both sides. So I have a dot line here. Okay, and another dot line here. You can see, I don't know if you can see closely. Let me bring it closer to you. Okay, have you seen those 2 dot lines? This one here, yes, this one here, and this one here. That's 1/4 inch. Okay, you remember the bust line is 0. Okay, 0 inch. So we're not taking any inch from here. So this other one, the under bust is 3 inches, but we're going to be taking 2 inches. We're going to be subtracting 2 inches from this under bust line. Okay, so we're going to take 2 inches, meaning that we're going to place it at 1 inch here. So we're going to take 1 inch on both sides. That from here to here is 2 inches. 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on the other side. Let me bring it closer for you. Can you see what I mean? So you have 1 inch this way. Let me carry it off. 1 inch this way and 1 inch. That's total of 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to put a dot here and another dot here. Okay, very simple. Okay, so that is the dot for the under bust, and then the same thing, we're subtracting 2 inches from the stomach 2 inches for the waistline and 2 inches for the full length. So it's still the same 1 inch on both sides that I am taking, okay? 1 inch on both sides gives a total of 2 inches. 1 inch on both sides gives a total of 2 inches. So that's what I'm doing on this other side as well. Okay, so you can see what you're going to now do is to create somewhat like a curve, okay, like something like this. Let me explain. Let me bring it closer on the other side, on the upper bust area for you. Okay, so I'm going to draw from the bust area now, okay? This is the bust area. I want to take it up to the upper bust at that quarter inch. Quarter this side, quarter means a total of ½ inch, okay? As you can see, that's what I just did there. And I'm going to do the same to this side. So this is what I'm going to be removing. So you can see this is the bust line here. Alright? Okay. So I'm going to come down to the under bust and still draw it down to where I have my under bust and take out the part I want to take out with 1 inch on both sides. That's 2 inches in total. Okay. So it's very simple. It's just to so you can see, it's just doing it as if you are adjusting, cutting out that bustier area of the top. So I'm going to take it straight down for the stomach area, waist, and the full length. I'm going to take it straight down here, okay? Since it's already straight, this area is straight totally. These are both 1 inch. Okay, I've taken it straight down. This is the angle I'm going to cut out. This angle, this is the first angle I'm going to cut out. So I'm going to do another dark line that I'm going to take out from the ones I've taken out from here. Okay. Remember, we still have ½ inch remaining upper bust. We still have 1 inch remaining under bust. We still have 1½ inches remaining and 1½ inches remaining for waistline and 1 inch remaining for full length. So it's very simple. I'm going to take 3 inches from the line that we drew, that from the bust line area. Okay, 3 inches here. I'm going to take 3 inches from here, and I'm going to dot it here to draw another dark line. 3 inches, 3 inches. So I want to go ahead and draw the line for the 3 inches. That's the next dot here that I want to do. So I've gone ahead to draw the line for the next dot here. So I'm going to go back to my remainder. I still have ½ inch off for the upper bust. So I'm going to do the same thing I did here, which was to just take quarter of an inch here, quarter of an inch here for this side. So after the line, I no longer have anyone remaining for the upper bust. So I'm going to take quarter here and quarter there, the same way I did it the last time. Okay, this is the 2 dots here, quarter inch, the same way I did it here. Now remember, the bust line is 0 inch. So we're not touching the bust line, we're not touching this place here. So we're not going to go down to the under bust, which is remaining 1 inch. And so we're going to take half, we're going to use half out of it, okay? So let me get another paper to keep reminding us of what is remaining. Upper bust was remaining half, and we've taken the half away. We've taken the half away, so now it's remaining 0. Okay, we've taken that quarter and quarter. Okay, that under bust now, under bust was remaining 1. Okay, so we are going to have 1. We are going to take half of this one now. Okay, we're not going to use total. So to use the half, we're going to also do the same thing we did here, which is quarter and quarter here. Okay, we're going to do 1 minus half. We still have a total of half remaining. That half, we're going to use it on this other side. We're going to create another dark line here, okay, around this area. So we're going to still use this one for it. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So now, we're going to take half for this one now. That's what I'm using half for this one. And then for the stomach area, we have 1.5 inch here. So we're going to be taking, we have stomach area, 1.5 inch. So we're going to be taking 1 inch here. Okay, 1.5 minus, we're going to use 1 inch here. Okay, we're going to take 1 inch at this point. So it's going to be 1.5 minus 1 will give us half to use on this side. Okay, the same thing to the waist. Waist was remaining 1.5 inch, remember? So we're going to use 1 inch, which will give us remaining half. And for the full length, okay, what we had was 1 inch. So on the full length is going to be 1 minus half. We're going to use half, okay? So it's going to remain half. Remember, the upper bust was half here. So half minus half, which we have dotted, is equal to 0. So what we have remaining for this side, that's for this other side of the dot, will be this one here. So let's use this, what we have here. So I said the under bust we are using half. So under bust here, we're going to take the same way we took for this side, quarter an inch one side and quarter an inch another side. So it's very simple. I'm going to take quarter, I'm putting this thing in the middle of an half, okay? So this is quarter of an inch. And this is another, am I right? Yeah, another quarter here. You can see between this line and this line is half. Okay, so I took quarter here, quarter here. So for the stomach area is, what we are using is 1 inch. The waist area, what we are using is 1 inch, okay? So it's very simple, half inch, so you just make it 1 inch now. So this is 1 inch from here to here, half this way, half this way, half on your left and half on your right. So it's simple, you just mark it here, okay, and mark another one here. Alright, the same thing goes for this other side. The same thing goes for this other side. And mark and mark. So this other side here is half inch, that's the full length. Okay, where you want it to stop is half inch. That's what we are using is half inch, okay? So right now we're going to measure half inch. We're going to measure down to the point of the allowance, okay? So we'll measure it here. You have, this is a full half inch here. The same way I did for that top side and for the under bust, I just took this is in the middle, and this is here, and this is here already. So very simple. Since the stomach and waist is the same, okay, since they are both the same, that I'm taking the same 1 inch, that's half on both sides. I'm just going to draw a line here first, and another line here before anything else. Okay, I've drawn this line that I showed you just now because they are on the same lane. It will be easy for me to draft it. So the same way I did here is what I'm going to also do here. I'm just going to draw and take it up a bit and then curve it here. Where the dot is. And then the same thing this other way. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. Remember, this is 1/4 inch one side, 1/4 inch the other side. So I'm going to come down here and start curving it at this point. Now, from here to here, you can see this side is wider. So you're just going to draw it out like this to meet the 1 inch that is here, okay, to meet the 1 inch that is here, and the same thing like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and then draw the sides down, here like this, like this. These are the angles I'm going to cut out. Okay, I'm going to cut out this middle point here and cut out this middle point here. So just in case you don't know, this is what I'm going to cut this all out. This is going to be cut out, cut out, cut out, cut out. Okay, so I'm going to do the last dart now. That's the last dart we still have some remaining here. So we're going to do the last dart for this. I'm trying to create a Victorian corset with 7 lines. Okay, where you have 7 lines. Okay, so the next that you want to do is at the beginning. So it's going to be at 2 inches. So you have your 2 inches dot line here. You draw. I've marked it at 2 inches. That's where my dot line is going to be. And draw out the dot line here. Sorry about the second line. It was a mistake. It wasn't equal. Okay, so now remember we have 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch on all from the underbust down. Okay, we have 1/2 inch from the underbust down. That's from here down. We have 1/2 inch on all of them. So what you do is very, very simple. You just take 1/4 inch on both sides, 1/4 inch on both sides. The way I taught you how to take the 1/4 inch, very simple. Here and here. You have underbust here and here. 1/4 inch on both sides. That makes it 1/2 inch. 1/4 inch. That makes it 1/2 inch. I'm just going to do that on all. From the underbust down, you have 1/4 inch. Okay. So you can see I took 1/4 inch from the underbust down because what we have here was remaining half. So 1/4 inch this way, 1/4 this way. That means that's 1/2 inch on both sides, half. And so we've used the remaining that. Okay. So very simple. The next thing you do is just to draw a line from here. You first of all draw a line from here. You start from this point here. Draw a line from where the bust line is. It's like this to where your 1/4 inch on your underbust starts. Okay. Okay. It's not visible enough. Can you see it? Okay. So then I've drawn the line from this point. That's where this thing starts from. Okay. I want to make very, very well for you to see the line that I just drew. Okay, this is the line we quote. My camera battery ran down. So, but what I did here is very simple. It's not much. It's just to draw a line from that 1/4 inch on this side and 1/4 inch on this side. That's 1/2 inch in total that I use in drawing a line down here. And yes, this side I'm going to mark it off. I marked it off so that I'll show you that this is the place I'm cutting off. So I'm cutting this side off. Remember, I didn't do anything here because we do not have any more inches remaining to use there. So this, we are going to cut this out. But before we cut it out, okay, we're going to be drawing out the bust line area. Remember, the bust line area was 10 with an extra 2 inches, okay? So that's what we want to cut out before we go ahead and cut inside. You have to cut out where the bust line, area is, okay? This area like this, straight down, okay? We're just going to cut it straight because the measurement for this, all this has been taken and it's going to be folded. By the time you cut it, it's going to be folded in. So it will have the proper measurement by the time you are done. So I'm going to add, this is 10 plus 2 inches, okay, for all the allowances in between. So I'm going to, this is 12 right now, and mark it here, and I'm going to just draw a straight line down here and then cut it out. If you do not understand what I mean by I'm taking it straight down, okay, the measurement, this is the measurement we started with, which is 36, 40, 28, 26, 26, 28. Some of you might be asking, oh, why can't we do a curve here like this? Okay, the curve that you have, no. You're going to be cutting out for 2 sides. Remember, your pattern paper is in 2 sides. So when you're cutting this side, you're going to be cutting it out for this other side. And now, you're going to cut it straight down because when you're sewing it to the side, that's the back, this way it has to be straight. Then your measurement has already been taken. This measurement here has already been taken in these places that you are going to cut. Okay, so when you sew them back, it's going to give you the exact measurement that you had here. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to draw out the 10 inches line, okay, before the 12 inches line. So 10 inches stopped here, okay, 10 inches stopped here, and 12 is here. So I'm going to first of all draw the 10 inches line, then draw the 12 inches line. Okay. That's when you are done cutting out everything. Don't worry, I'm going to explain it on the fabric. Okay, so before I cut it out totally, I want to put a design up here. I'm going to, first of all, I want to create a small design like love design. I'm just going to create something like this. It's not so, I'm going to stop it at this 12 inches, at this 12 inches line. So, okay, most times from your shoulder to your armhole is about between 7 to 8, 7.5 inches, and then from your shoulder to your upper butt is most likely 6 inches. For this particular person was 6 inches, so we still have 1.5 inch. So that means from here to here is we are going to take 1.5 inch, okay? 1.5 inch from this angle here, 1.5 inch here, okay? So this is where your shoulder is, like this. So you have 1.5 inch here like this. So this angle is like this, okay? So you have your armhole. You can take it from here. You have your armhole here like this, something like this, okay? Armhole is just a small space here. From here to here, your armhole. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it in this fashion, like this, down to this point, like this. Okay, from this angle to this point to this way. So I've gone ahead to cut out the area that I don't need. So I'm going to label the panels. Okay, I'm going to be labeling them. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, so that I don't mix them up. This is allowance panel, okay? Allowance panel. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? This is not totally necessary, this particular allowance panel. I'm just keeping it in case of anything. So what you do is that when you are going to put it on your cloth, when you finish cutting this out and put it on your cloth, you will just add a quarter of an inch on the sides for you to sew it, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this out. Cut the part that I told you, the dark area that I said you should cut out. Like now I'm cutting this one out. So for this first side, I've only cut out, that's for this first line here. Okay, I've gone ahead to cut out just this place in between here. That's what I've cut out. Okay, this is what you don't need. This is the measurement you are cutting out. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out as well, and then cut this one, and then come back and show you. Remember to cut it off on the two parts. Okay, this is your front and this is your back. So when you're drafting your pattern paper, you're drafting on two parts. You're not drafting on one side. It's on two parts together. So that one side will be for your right side, the other side is for your left side of your top. Okay, this is the left and this is the right, and you need both of them. Okay. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to cut out the part I don't need. Don't worry, when we are done putting it on the cloth, we'll now create our bust effect on the cloth. You can still create it on the pattern paper as in before cutting it. Okay, but I want to create it on the fabric so that I just create it once and for all. So now this is for half of the part of your cloth, that's your right side. So since I labeled it here 1, I'm going to go ahead, turn it to this side and label this side 1 as well. 1. Then I'm going to label this other one here on this side, this one here 2. Okay. I'm going to go ahead, label this side 3. And then the same for this other side. So this is the 4th panel. So this is how it's going to be. This side here, we'll cut it into 2. Is the middle. Okay, this is the middle point. So I'm going to cut it into 2 before drafting it on my material. Okay. Okay, you can see this is the full. That's after I opened it to the other side. So this is the left side, this is the right side of the top. Okay, so this is what you are going to be drafting out on your material. This is the fabric I'm going to be using. Okay, this is the fabric I want to use. So let me go ahead, draft it on the fabric and bring it back and show you. Okay, so I've gone ahead to cut it on my fabric. I added 1/4 inch on the side for me to be able to, have an extra allowance when sewing. Okay. Next thing you do is to draft it on your lining. Okay, so that you have that for your lining. Then I'm going to add stay to this fabric. Now you can choose not to use stay, but you can use cloth gum or soft breast pad. Not the thick one, not the thick breast pad or the soft breast pad. But you need to put something to make it strong so that the Victorian corset can stand. It can hold very well. I'm going ahead to add stay. Yeah, you can see I've added stay to each and every one of them. Okay, so I've gone ahead to add stay to each and every one of them. So after now, I'm going to sew the edges together. You will add stay to the line. So I'm going to sew these edges together. Okay, and then bring it back and let you see the result. Okay, so you can see it now. This is the Victorian corset part. This is what it looks like after sewing. This is what it looks like after sewing. This is the curve area that it will give you. Let me turn it to the front. You can see this. I've not even added lining here. This is just a fabric with the stay. You can see it here. Okay, you can see how it looks. This area, okay, I've added more light. It's coming out like a cup. Okay, you can see these are the lines that I don't know if you can see it very clearly. So first of all, you just take your measurements with your tape to measure out, to confirm your measurements so that you know how much of the allowance you are leaving on the side. And then secondly, don't forget to add your lining. Then you add in your boning on all those lines, these lines that you have here. Sewing boning is preferable. You can see it's plastic boning, but plastic boning will be too tight on the person's body. So the person really wants something extremely fitted. Okay, if the person wants something fitted, you can use plastic boning, but I prefer to use sewable boning on all the lines that in between your lining and your fabric, okay? Don't forget to also add stay on the lining as well to make it really stand well. It's because of the stay that you can see the beauty of what we have cut out here. Then I want to go ahead and put bias on all the lines on top of it. I want to do a back waistline. So to do a back waistline, you can draft it when you were drafting your pattern paper, okay? But this one I just prefer to do it now when I'm done sewing like this. I'll just fold it up in the middle like this. So I folded it into two, okay? I folded it into two like this. Then I want to take a curve for the back waist effect, okay? So I'm going to take a curve at 4 inches. This is 4 inches here. Okay, this is where 4 inches is. And I'm going to draw a line from this point to this point, okay? I'm going to draw it in a curvy way so that I want to, as if you're carving out a neck, okay? So we are carving out a round neck, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and carve this out to create my back waistline. Let me bring it closer for you to see. I'm going to go ahead and carve it out so that I can create a back waist effect. Yeah. Okay, so I've gone ahead to draft out the back area. Okay, this is the back area of the Victorian corset. So I'm going to go ahead and use a black bias on all the lines, okay, all these lines here. I'm going to use a black bias. So this is what the Victorian corset looks like after adding the bias binding. Really coming out well, really copying the way we want it. If you liked this video, please give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. I would gladly reply to you. If you're not subscribed, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if any tutorial that you want me to do, then suggest it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.